Hello everybody, coming in from RVA Katana in Richmond, Virginia. Actually at home right now instead of at the shop. Scott's at the shop right now. I think he's entertaining lots of customers. But I'm really excited to have gotten this package from Ray Singer over at swordsofjapan.com. If you're interested in authentic Nihonto, that is antique swords, he's the one to go to. So anyway, yeah, I got this one. I'm going to be unboxing it right here for you. Hello to, I cannot read your name, but yes, please, thank you for joining in. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna unbox this guy, and you can see what's really, really cool. I'm really excited about this thing. Ray listed it last week, and I jumped on it really quickly, like within the first 5 minutes of when he listed it. As soon as I saw it, because basically, this sort of item, it's not super rare, but it has super historical significance to it. And so I really want you guys to be the first ones to see what it is. And hi to, I think I see Shayar? Can't read your name there, sorry about that. Once again, I have really bad eyes. I actually went to get an eye appointment today. So, bubble wrap. Here we go. Lots of bubble wrap in here. Lots of foam. So Ray packed this really, really nicely. So millions of thanks to Ray Singer for this thing. Let's see. Looks like he also wrapped regular wrap around it, like plastic wrap. Or maybe this is all plastic wrap and not bubble wrap. If that's the case, this might take a while for me to unravel. But I really can't wait to show you this cool sword that's coming out here. All right. Wow, he really wrapped this guy well. I'm going to send him a message to thank him for the wrapping job. It's going to take me a while to get it all off, apparently. I mean, obviously it is a sword. Is it a tachi or a katana? It is a tachi. Oh, sorry, it is a katana. It is a katana. This is an antique one, no less. This is this particular one is 150 years old. I should have put that in the title, right? For people who are looking. Sorry, this is going to take a while because he really wrapped this well. Whew. It's like... So right now I'm just working off the outer layer of plastic wrap. I'll have to learn how he packs swords for when we send off swords in boxes like this. Ray, once again, if you go to swordsofjapan.com here on TikTok, you can learn a lot about antique swords from him. He's so knowledgeable. He's handled over 4,000 old antique swords, so he really has a good idea of what it is. But it's so curved, yes. Let's see. Oops, sorry, let's see. Sup, John. Hey, Casual Black. As always, great to have you here. Let's see. Opening up the antique. Yes, indeed. It's Japanese. Yes, it is Japanese. The 150-year-old Japanese sword. So what was happening in Japan 150 years ago? Well, basically, this was during the Meiji, the end of the feudal period, the bakumatsu period. And so this is when the Tokugawa shogunate was losing power, and there were forces. Japan was under a lot of pressure from the West, and so within their society, within the ruling shogunate, the Tokugawa, they were basically trying to decide, whether they wanted to modernize or maintain traditions. And most of them, there was a sort of idea that you wanted to expel the foreigners. And so there was this rise in sort of these people who wanted to set the emperor back on the throne, though as a figurehead. And so their particular motto was, let's expel the foreigners and revere the emperor. And so it's kind of interesting about some of the things that you'll see in that era. So if you look, the movie The Last Samurai, it takes place right around that period, where Japan is in a society in transition. It's sort of on the border of feudal and modern. Okay, let's see. Open up, let's see, is it Japanese? Very awesome. That tachi in the Discord was amazing. Not sure which tachi it was, but I'll have to go look at it. So once again, Casual Black is mentioning the Discord. So if you're on Discord, go to RVA Katana, click on my profile, hit the link tree, and look for the Discord link. If you're on Discord, you can come and join our conversations, and we love talking swords, the history of swords. Who is the most legendary samurai? Musashi Miyamoto, of course. Actually, for the period, though, he really wasn't, Anyway, I see it made it on time. That's from Christopher Smith. Yeah, it made it pretty quickly. And man, Ray really wrapped this guy up. So once again, I got this from Swords of Japan. Or rather, Ray, he was helping his friend sell it. But Ray is the guy to go to if you're looking for antique Japanese swords. He has a TikTok here, Swords of Japan. Let's see. He really wrapped this up. And I really want to cut through it, but I'm also worried about damaging the sword. So I'm going to have to do it the old way. Okay, I'm going to do some cutting here. I'm just going to be very, very careful. Who thought saran wrap would be such a pain in the butt? All right, catching up with messages. Let's see. Get something sharp and help it open that? Haha. Do I have something sharp? Did Americans help the Japanese during the Last Samurai a real thing? No, absolutely not. Basically, the Last Samurai is a retelling of the Satsuma Rebellion, and the character Katsumoto in the Last Samurai is based off Saigo Takamori, who was absolutely essential towards restoring the emperor to the power during the Meiji Restoration. However, he was basically seen as kind of a radical. He really wasn't a heroic figure at all. The real Saigo Takamori, I mean, he was a very towering figure for the time, and he basically wanted to start a war with Korea, and that has always been Japan's ambition, is to invade first Korea and then China. And so during that period, Saigo Takamori said, what we want to do is we're going to send an envoy to Korea and make these unreasonable demands, and they will have no choice but to execute your envoy, which will give us just cause to invade Korea. And you think, wow, what a jerk. But he actually he volunteered to be that envoy. In any case, he was told, no way, we're not going to do that. And so he was something of a minister at the time. And then because of this, this incident, he was sort of dismissed, and he was sort of seen off to his Satsuma. He was sent back to Satsuma. So anyway, yeah, Satsuma was a very influential province at the time. It was ruled by the Shimazu family, and they were very influential in getting the emperor back on the throne, so to speak. I mean, the emperor never left the throne in Japan, but he was such a figurehead during the shogunate. So basically, the shogunate was the one, they had the power, and they were making all the decisions. And the emperor was basically a figurehead to the shoguns for that amount of time. And so there was this idea around that era that the shogun should defer power, basically should step down and let the emperor make decisions again about, in terms of rule. So anyway, I blabber on. I love talking history. I'm really fascinated by the history of societies in transition, and definitely the Meiji Restoration is the bakumatsu period. The end of the shogun period is a society in transition when they're dealing with all kinds of like all these different forces. I am very much about the same. I mean, I say I'm interested in it, but I never thought I would live through a society in transition. But we are basically, I would like to argue that we are currently a society in transition because of the influence of the internet and automation and AI. It's basically affecting how we do work, how we questioning our identities as humans in general. I mean, what can we say if a machine actually develops sentience? Anyway, things I think about. And once again, sorry I'm taking forever to open this thing, but man, Ray wrapped this really, really well. All right, so I'm going to try to catch up with messages here. There are now 87 people in here. I bought my katana last week with you, and I received it today, and I'm very happy. Thanks. That is PSMTOIC. I can't read your name, but I'll take your word for it. Which sword did you get? I'm really happy that you enjoyed it. So far, I haven't had many complaints, and for that, I am very happy. Mini katana ripoff. Sure. Basically, mini katana is there's really, yeah. I won't. I'll try not to say anything negative about mini katana. So here we are. I want to say hello because I go to sleep. Hey, Jin Sakai. Good night. Thanks for dropping in temporarily. The Japanese hated the Last Samurai movie. Actually, I have no idea. My wife is Japanese, and I don't know how she felt about it. At last, it is out. It is out of its its case here, and it is pretty interesting. I mean, basically, this is 150 years old. It shows the damage of the time. This particular type of koshirae, that is, the fittings, are called Satsuma style because of the long, straight handle, the deep blade, the deep curvature. You can see there that it has this rectangular tsuba. Ray says this tsuba alone is worth $400 to $500, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, wow, this is really cool. I'm gonna unsheath it in a minute. Let's see. Nihonto, is it Shirasaya straight? Right. Longest unboxing ever. Yeah, sorry. I was busy talking and not concentrating. If you could have a conversation with someone from history, who would it be? Napoleon, without a doubt. Let's see. This is an old sword. This I love. Yes, this is a bakumatsu period, 150 years old, end of the beginning of the Meiji. All right. So the tsuba is not particularly unique. It is apparently what we say is Nara style. I'm gonna try to hold it up to the light there. Terminator was a look into the future back in the 80s. We were warned about technology and automation. Yeah, right? Hey, John, I know someone that has the same exact sword. I'll show you in the Discord later. Okay, very cool. Actually, this is from Florida, so maybe it is his sword. Okay, so this is the blade itself. And as you see, it shows lots of signs of age. I may or may not get this polished, probably not. Very wide. It has a lot of oomph to it. I'm curious as to how sharp it is, since the blade isn't in great condition. Might actually try to cut with this. Yeah. You have a Discord, yes. Go click on my file here, my profile, and then look at the link tree. Every time I've seen that square tsuba, it was on a ninjato. Yeah, ninjato are actually a modern day creation, and so the actual ninja basically cut down old swords and to make them shorter. So anyway, yeah. This is once again about 150 years old, and I guess, wow, I don't know. It looks like they tried to scour it with iron wool or something like that. This is not great. Is there a way of testing the quality of the metal on a katana? Yes. What you can do is you can take a little sliver, or usually I would say off the tang, and get it metallurgically tested. It is an expensive process. Let's see. So yeah, wow. Okay, and once again, this is the saya on it. It has this little hook that would help with your, when you insert it into your sash. So when you drew it, it would stick. And once again, this is what we call Satsuma style fittings based on. So when I say this is basically a Last Samurai sword, it's the real Last Samurai. Not Tom Cruise, but based on Saigo Takamori. So this sword could have seen the Boshin War, which is basically the last war during the Satsuma Rebellion. So yeah, this is a pretty cool sword. I cannot see it very clearly in the light because I'm busy talking. Casual Blacks, good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Is it traditionally made? Yes, this was made 150 years ago. This is an authentic Japanese sword. So I assume it was traditionally made. So, Tamahagane. Yeah. And we'll be getting a couple more of these in the future. Yeah, that blade is really beat up. But still, it does have historical significance. Is it still sharp? I don't know. Let's see the Mei. And that's the one thing. This is Masatsuge. And and Ray Singer, who I bought it from, who facilitated the sale, says he believes it is an authentic Mei, which I trust Ray because Ray knows his stuff. The Meikugi is coming out with my finger, so this is nice. I don't have to tap it out, which is good because I don't know where my Meikugi Nuki is. Oh, there, I see it. Okay, so the Meikugi came out on its own. Let's take a look and see. Placing the saya down. Okay, so here's the tang. And you can see there's the signature right there. So that is a date, actually. That's Ansei Sannen. So third year of Ansei, which don't ask me what year that is. You can look it up. Ansei is A-N-S-E-I. That is probably in the 1850s or so. I don't know my dates all that well. And then on this side, I can't read it right off the top of my... I'm going to take off my glasses here. This is a really pretty signature. Ishin... Oh, okay. Choku. Yeah, I'm having a really hard time reading it. But that is the other side of the signature. And I stabbed my ceiling, damn it. All right. One day my wife's going to come to the guest room and look up at the ceiling and wonder why there are so many marks in it. So anyway, yeah, that is the date that it was made, Ansei Sannen. This is not worth a whole lot. So this sword is 150 years old about, so not super old. This is worth about, $1,000 to $1,500. Hey, Ichibonji, thanks. I missed a lot of comments while I was looking at this. Crazy to think that this was used in the battle. Once again, this was not used in just any battle, but it was probably used during the Satsuma Rebellion, which was basically what the Last Samurai was based on. I'm trying to do this in such a way. I don't really think I should care if I touch the blade or not because it's already in really crappy shape. But there you can see the signature. Let me hold it the other way around. I'm going to put the tsuka down. And there we go. Once again, this is the date, Ansei Sannen. And yes, this was likely seen battle, I would assume. Just because that at that period, that's what happened. Beautiful, definitely not. Basically, this particular sword is not in great shape. It can definitely, it could be restored, basically, with a good togishi, someone who does polishing. And I know one in North Carolina. I'm highly tempted to send it to him, but given the length, this will probably cost me $1,000 some to have polished. And I don't know if it's worth it or not, really. But it is a pretty sword. Let's see. Let me try to catch up on comments. That ceiling had it coming. Yes, I stabbed the ceiling. Oh, I have to go. Sorry, Gene Sakai. Thanks for being. You're probably not here anymore. The most expensive sword I have is actually a tanto, about this big. It's about $5,000. I will be actually getting two swords that are about 650 years old that are worth more. Did Samurai name their swords? No. Let's see. This one will be for sale, by the way, for $1,500. I'm sorry, $1,250 on my website, but probably not yet. I want to have it in the shop for a while so people can see what an authentic sword that was used. We're going to call this the Last Samurai sword. I'll also be getting like a zatoichi, like almost a real zatoichi sword. So I wouldn't say that I prefer swords that look like this, beat up and old. This is such an awesome sword. Love your show, John. Thank you. Not even a notch on the blade. Not that I can see. Once again, I am looking at the light, and you guys are getting good light in it, so I really haven't seen the blade very clearly yet. However, I've seen pictures of it up to now. Ray Singer. Once again, I got this from Ray Singer, who is over at swordsofjapan.com. He is here on TikTok under swordsofjapan.com. Highly recommend checking him out. Are you located in Richmond, Virginia? Yes. We have a shop on Cary Street. This is the Last Samurai sword I was talking about. Yes. And there, once again, here, you can see this. This is upside down, but this is the date and the signature. And I'm going to pop the ska back on. Make sure you get it in the right direction. It's very nice how easily the Mikugi came in and out. So it'll be nice to show the signature and show this off during our live streams. This is a pretty cool sword. And I don't know if you guys saw that, like how easily the sword now, I'm going to hold it and see that it's now fit. So that's all you need is that little peg to keep it in. How much costs the sword in the middle, the brown one? If it's this one, this is a $3,500 sword. This one here. And you can see this on my website. It's the Taira Takata sword. So this one is almost 500 years old, 500 years give or take. This one is about 150 years old. Have any of those swords cut off unalived anybody? No. Not that, well, who knows? I have no idea. And I am going to be getting one that has a battle mark in it. Basically, you'll see that it has a sword cut in the back, in the mune. Can't wait to get a hold of that one. But anyway, yeah, so here we are. I'm going to go stand over here so I can get a better look at the blade. Man, it's really been beat up. I'm curious to see how sharp it is, though. Let me see if I have anything cuttable. I don't have any paper here. Not going to... I really shouldn't care because the blade is so beat up. It's okay if I cut something. But I don't really have anything to cut. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. If it's cut, somebody that may wear golden. Oh, so you're talking about the... No. So the May part, and that's not true. There are several May that are gold that did not cut anybody. Sometimes the smith just engraved it in gold. So yeah. So there you go. Once again, 150-year-old, not polished Satsuma sword. And for those of you who just joined us, Satsuma, there was a rebellion in Satsuma in the 1870s, led by Saigo Takamori. It is the story upon which the Last Samurai was based. This is a Satsuma style sword. It has one hole in the tang, so it was likely used by a Satsuma samurai. So this likely saw battle. So very cool. Cut a phone book in half. Do people have phone books anymore? I wouldn't even know where to find a phone book. So anyway, hello, Josh. Hey, Josh, I actually found a box for your oil kit. So I'm gonna be. It already has a shipping label and everything, but I haven't actually dropped it off at the post office yet. So Josh, I apologize for the not including that kit, but it's on the way. How fast can slice to katana? Yeah, I'm not sure. Jesus Christ is God in real life. Okay, I don't know why you're bothering to tell us that, but sure. So once again, 150-year-old. This is the Last Samurai sword, and not used by Tom Cruise, but it has an interesting, what we say is koshizori. The curve starts here. Even the habaki isn't square. It actually has like an angle here because of that curve. This is what we call. It looks like a koshizori style sword, so a very different geometry. It looks like it's longer, so let's by comparison. This is like a modern day. This is a modern day reproduction, and you can say that this one is has an extra 2 inches to it. So the Nagasa is probably about 29 to 30 inches, making it a pretty long sword. Yep. I really wish I had some paper here because I'm curious to see how sharp it is. It feels like it's sharp but unevenly so. Yeah. What's the advantage to a longer blade? Longer reach. Are you going to have it restored? Probably not. Basically, to polish this blade would cost a couple $1,000 some dollars, and I don't know if the resale value is worth it. I'm probably just going to keep it in the shop as is because it does have koshirae. So this is a private carriage sword, I guess. Not sure what that means. Chris here. Always love the streams. Thank you so much, Chris. My Ghost Fist Shaolin is very strong. I'm back, John. Casual Black, as always, great. Cut some veggies in half. Yeah, I don't want the blade to deteriorate any more than it already has. I'll pass on that. Oh yeah, for those of you who are interested, come join our Discord, RVA Katana. Click on the link tree and find our Discord server and come and join us. Show pictures of your swords. We'll show more pictures of swords. Haja no Ontachi is a crazy sword. Okay. My keyboard is crazy. Yes, that's how I feel oftentimes about cell phone keyboards. Yeah. There is rattle. I mean, basically this isn't super tight like we would expect a cuttable sword. But I might try to cut with this. If it's sharp, once again, I'm going to test it on paper. I might try to cut with this guy. Sorry, Home, for volunteering your service. Oh, so TGYR, I just unboxed this guy. This is basically a 150-year-old sword that was probably used during the Satsuma Rebellion, which is what the Last Samurai is based on. And I just got it today. This is going to be in the shop, about $1,500. Sorry, Home, for volunteering your services. This has a very nice long ska. Here you can see the square style tsuba. It's actually kind of prettier on this. Oh, I think I put it on backwards. Oops. So I'll have to put it back on later. But yeah, this is what we say is a Nara style tsuba from what Ray tells me. Once again, that's not my expertise. So was that signed by Randy Jackson? No. I want to see Tamashigiri with this sword so bad. Yeah, we might do it. Yeah, I might try. I'm really tempted because usually we don't cut with antique swords because they're polished and you don't want to damage the polish. But since this one isn't polished at all, this one looks like someone tried to polish it and did a really shitty job. I might actually try to cut with this. So I'm just curious. I don't know how sharp it is. Yeah, I really want to see this in good light. But yeah, basically the light is facing me, so I have not been able to study the blade very well. Sorry, I meant to say Joe. Dang autocorrect. It's all good. So yeah, there we go. So could that have been a bringback? No, this was not a bringback. This was acquired by a friend of Ray Singer, and this was a Satsuma sword. So a lot of the bringback swords were in gunto koshirae. So for example, this is a bringback right here. And this is a military saber. This is the sort of thing that the officers and non-commissioned officers wore in Japan during World War II. And a lot of these swords were brought back. However, this sword is in fittings from 150 years ago. And it has only one mekugi, so it's probably the original fittings there. And so this one is probably not a bringback. Once again here, this is the what you call it? The saya. The saya has some damage. Once again, it's pretty old. My friend Ethan almost got in a car crash. Man, that sucks. Hope he's okay. Were guntos hand wrapped or no? Yes. Let's see. How are they polishing it? Basically, you use stones. These polishing stones that will do that. So I'm very curious to see. Yeah. So yeah, I just drew a 150-year-old sword. That's pretty cool. That's pretty fun. All my old swords are not mounted like this. They're not mounted in koshirae. They're almost all in shirasaya. So I should use steel wool in yours. No, you shouldn't. Basically, seriously, casual black, don't try to polish a sword by yourself. It is the work. If you try to polish it, it'll reduce the value quite a bit. You really want to get a professional to polish your sword. I can recommend Christopher Osborne in Asheville. He did an amazing job with a sword that I got. I didn't have him polish it. Someone polished it. He polished the sword, and I got it from that person who had it polished, and he did a really great job. It's one of the best polished jobs I've ever seen. But it will cost you about $1,000, a grand. I might have him polish it, maybe, but I just don't know. Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to hear that, Casual Black, that you don't plan on trying to try to do it yourself. I should use, and so yeah, this one here, it wouldn't surprise me the way that this one's all abraded that maybe somebody tried to use steel wool on it. Man, it is really awful. Why don't you have worldwide shipping? One of the things about shipping swords is that they oftentimes get seized at customs. If you're interested, send me a message and I can make arrangements. Number one, figure out what country you're in and see if we're able to send it. If that's the case, we can arrange payment off platform. And the main thing there is just we don't want to have it completely open, all the platforms open, because we don't know what countries we can ship a sword to. Like, for example, we have shipped to South Africa, France, Australia, Germany, but there are other countries where we can't do that. I'm in Iran. Yeah, I don't know if we can ship it there. How can you tell if a gunto belonged to a high-ranking officer? I don't think there's any way to tell. So, yeah. I think most of the high-ranking officers, though, had traditionally made blades as opposed to the machine-made blades, or they had a family blade. Yep. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay, people, my battery's about to die, so I am going to go shut this down. But thank you all for joining in while I unbox this guy. This is pretty cool. And Scott, my teacher Scott, who also helps me in the shop, he just posted a video on his account about how to wear a tachi, which is a traditional cavalry saber. So go check him out. It's Scott Toichi. Or if you go to my TikToks, you can follow the links on how to wear a tachi. So anyway, thanks again for joining in, and I'm going to shut this down before my phone battery dies. Good night. I think it's not shutting down. There we go.